Today I'm gonna make a very classic fly for the Danish salmons. This is the Beiss. It's actually not a Danish pattern. It's a Swedish or a Norwegian pattern. I can't recall. It's made by someone called Ulf Seal. So this is very classic for the Danish waters, but it's also very classic for the Mørms. One of the most proven patterns ever made for this. This is not going to be exactly like Ulf made it. This is going to be my take on it. So what I basically want to do is I want to make something that comes very close to the original one, but without all the fuss. So I'm going to do this as easy as possible, but still maintaining the general idea of the fly. As you can see here, it is the Beiss. So we're only going to use about 4 or 5 materials for this one. It's going to be fairly easy, fairly fast. What I've done here is I've taken my Pro Futurefly needle, the best needle there is, and added a Futurefly tube, because the Futurefly tubes has some advantages over some of the Pro stuff. These Futurefly tubes I'm going to use for this is a Futurefly tube that's called the Attitube, which is very good because it has all the properties we need to making a Beiss fly. Of course, it has the orange butt and then the black body. So in one easy stroke here, I have made all the start of the Beiss fly without having to do much about it. So basically that's it. And that's one of the advantages, or one of the most profound advantages of tying on tube flies is you can very easily and very fast get things done. Because now I have weighted the fly as well. It's going to be perfectly balanced and stuff like that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a piece of rabbit. Rabbit is one of the most lively and best materials for salmon and sea trout flies, at least for Denmark and Sweden. And what I've done is I've cut a piece out of this, and then I've tapered it, as you can see here, so it fits completely the profile I want for this fly. If you look in the corner here, there is another video I've done on exactly how to make a piece of fur like this, because the best quality there is of hairs, that being that being goat or rabbit or American opossum or any kind of hairs. The best quality I've ever found is the Futurefly ones, but these comes in packages like this, so you have to learn how to cut these out. But once you do that, you will find that it is definitely a trick that's well worth knowing, because the quality and the way your flies will fish and move in the water is completely worth that small effort. So I'm just gonna attach this on top here. As you can see, I've cut it out, so it's also the profile up here is a bit pointy, so I don't get a too big part of the fly here, a too big head, while still maintaining a relatively broad profile here, like this. So I can cut off the stump, and since this is tied down on the hair. On the fur, I mean, we don't have to worry about this ever going anywhere. This wing is gonna stay there. It's gonna be perfectly tapered and move very beautiful in the water, like so. I'm gonna make it back there so you can see. And the next thing I'm gonna use is, oh, I misplaced that for some reason. The next thing we're gonna use is some. Again, some Futurefly hackles. They make some good loose hackles at a very affordable price. And now, of course, I've placed my flesh away as well. Oh, I'm sorry about that. You know how things is. And we're gonna use some wing and flesh also for this fly. So basically, this is how it is in the beginning, and we're practically we're not very far from done with this fly already. Just looking to find the perfect sized feather now, because well, there is of course a lot of feathers down in a package like this, but this is a fairly large fly, so we need to select the perfect one. Nothing can be too good for you, my my dear followers. I think this looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this down in the tips. Oh, sorry, we need the flesh first. Everything is in its time. So the wing and flesh here is a very nice material. It's very light. It reflects a lot of light and also is very lively in the water. So it adds up to a great fly combined with the rabbit wing. Just gonna take some of the longer strands here. I'm gonna pull it out so it's gonna widen it a bit out like this. So it's gonna be on both sides here. Gonna tie it down right there. Using the Futurefly tying thread as well. A lot of Futurefly stuff is good. I think that the Brian Sturb, the I don't know if you would call him lead developer or something like that, founder of Futurefly, has a lot of good ideas and makes a lot of gets a lot of innovative stuff produced. Like so. So we have a bit of semi-golden. This color is called sand. The golden would be good, or the golden olive, or the chartreuse would also be good. For some reason the chartreuse is more golden olive with the wing and flesh. So that was a bit of flesh material, and now of course I've lost track of my feather. Oh, all the talking makes me a bit out of breath. Oh, it's hard to keep this this non-stop talk going. But well, that's basically what I do. So I will bear that burden, if you can say that. So, applying my feather, I'm gonna tie that down in the tip of the feather here. Cutting that away. I hope everything is nice and sharp. It looks nice and sharp. Like this. And with this tying thread you can really clamp down on your materials and make sure that they are exactly where you want them to be, and that they are not going anywhere. Like so. And because this is a fairly large fly, it's designed to fish in the early spring, something like that. So I'm not gonna strip off half of the hackle here. I'm gonna use all the hackle here to make it a bit more a bit thicker hackle out in the front here, like this. Using a couple of turns to tie down the hackle, clamp down on it, make sure it stays there. Cutting off what I don't need. Like so. Gonna hold everything back and then make it turn just a little, like there. I must say this new bobbin from CF Design is very cool. It's a bit thinner and a bit more heavy, and I really like that because the added weight make sure your material stays firmly in place. You don't want a too light a bobbin because you want it to simply keep some strain on your materials. Well, basically this is it. This is the Beiss flue, as you can see. 3 materials and some tubes, and then you have a perfectly well functional Beiss flue. So very easy to tie. But I'm gonna add a bit more to this pattern. I'm gonna add a jungle cock first of all, because well, because basically I really like a jungle cock. I think it suits all the flies very well. It looks cool both in the water and on the flies, like so. Maybe this should actually have been curved the other way around. I'm gonna use this feather for the other side. I find another one here. Boom, boom, boom. A jungle cock cape is regretfully a bit expensive, but you can find some decent one at decent prices around. If you're in Europe, I can ship you one. I can ship Jungle Cock, but what is important is the main fly tying distributor in all of northern Europe actually lives quite close to me. So whenever he gets a big shipment of Jungle Cock, what I do is I get a notice from him, and then I go there myself and sort through all of them, and simply just take the ones that I think is the best quality, and the ones that I think is actually worth the money. Because it's since I only have a web shop, in order for my customers to trust me, I need the quality of my materials to be to be exceptional. Every single time. Otherwise, people simply would not shop at my shop, because you trust me. You trust me to find you something that you will find you will pay for. Then I have to be on my best. I have to do my best every single time. And so if I have Jungle Cock in a decent in a good quality, I will ship some. But if I don't have some, I will simply not. I will not go. I will not lower my standards just in order to be able to sell something. I will not ship any materials that is not up to standard. It's as easy as that. So I've added the Jungle Cock, and what you can do now is you can take your Sabagap, a great product. Also, it has a brush inside there. And this has a lot of advantages, because I can simply just add some Sabagap to my tying thread here, and then when I turn my tying thread, I simply make sure that the head stays where it's placed, like so. Of course, I'm gonna add a Jungle Cock on the other side. But what you could do now, if you want this to be finished, and a good little trick is to use some of all these gadgets and cool additions that the tube fly systems offer you. What I really like is to add a small cone head, something like that. Hope this shows what it is I'm doing. And the small cone head is a great option also, because the small cone head here helps you to conceal. If you have a fairly large head, you can conceal a lot of that, because there's a lot of room inside the cone head. So if you have a too large a head, simply add a cone head, and your fly will look a hell of a lot better than it will. It can save a lot. Not that I have the problem right here, but I have had that from time to time. Of course, I'm no fly tying god. I'm just simply a ordinary fellow who likes to tie flies. But there is a lot of different options. Also, if you want this fly to really move some water, you can add one of these discs instead. These adds additional life to the fly. Looks very good. Of course, I will only be doing this after I've placed the other Jungle Cock. But there's a lot of different additions you can use to make this fly swim even more. But well, that was it. A very classic fly for the Norwegian waters. The Beiss, great pattern. Very cheap, very easy to make, and it swims like a madman. Thank you for tuning in. Those were the words.